I'm Makayla Carozzolo, and this is Thrifting for You. Today I'm joined by our Kelsey Anderson. Hey, Kelsey.
Hi.
And today we're also joined by Neil Gerard, who owns the Story Garage. Hi, Neil.
Hi.
So we're here in Black Rock, Buffalo on Niagara Street, and we're checking out some pretty cool stuff today. So Neil, tell us a little bit about your shop. How did it start?
So I started on East Ferry Street in a unheated garage in 2016. And my mission was basically to get furniture into people's homes as cheaply as possible.
Right.
And furniture for people that may not be going to other places to look for it. In addition, during that period, I teamed up with my friend who owned a moving company, and we were donating furniture, places like Catholic Charities, International Institute. So we also had that as part of our mission at the time. And then during COVID, I was in an unheated garage with no windows, no water. So there would literally be times where I wouldn't go in the wintertime, probably for 45 days or up to 2 months sometimes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find a place with heat. I looked around over there and nothing worked out. So I'm like, okay, I want a neighborhood, so to speak. So I looked here and saw this space, and it's been nothing but incredible. My landlords are amazing, and it's the honeymoon's not over, as they say with them.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Makayla asked me to be a part of this because she knows I talk about thrifting
Yes.
all the time. I thrift most of the clothes you see on air, and then my entire house has pretty much been thrifted, the furniture. I go to estate sales, and I've even come here to the Story Garage. She told me this was the place. I
Yes.
said, oh, that's a great place because I know it well. I follow you guys on Instagram. You have a wonderful social media following where you post
It's fun.
everything.
It's fun, yeah.
So tell us about what you have here for sale and what would be kind of interesting for folks to know about.
So this particular piece, I know that I talk about it all the time, is I love when we know the backstory, where something came from, who owned it, what's the situation. So this, whoever ends up buying this, they're going to be the first owner outside of the family. Nice. So I'm selling this for someone, and it belonged to their mother.
Wow.
And when talking about your company itself, your store, you were saying that you like to try to get things like some vintage furniture for good quality furniture that everyone can kind of get something they can afford in their house.
Absolutely. That's the mission.
So when looking at a piece like this, like how much are you listing this for?
Well, this is a designer piece, so we got to kind of find that sweet spot. So we're at $750, which if you look this couch up, I mean it's $2,000 anywhere else, including in Buffalo.
Absolutely, and I do that often, by the way. I see your prices. My sister and I will send your stuff to each other and say, how is he selling that for that affordable of a price?
Yeah,
Right.
It's, I'm able to. You know,
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I'm able to, you know, I pay the rent here, and that's pretty much it. It's a fine balance because it's always tricky, but yeah, it's, again, I have no interest in hanging on to stuff. So I moved in here in 2020, September of 2020. This is all my space has ever been for 5 years. Wow. So I haven't increased it. And even when I was on East Ferry Street, it was always just that space. So I don't want to hang on to anything. It's not doing me any good. Let's get into someone's home, let them enjoy. So this couch is probably from 1966. The original owner, so she owned it until now.
Incredible.
Yes. And so we're here right now on, it happens to be a Friday in November when we're here. And so if you were, say, coming this weekend that we're filming this on, you would see a lot of this stuff, but that can't be said for every weekend. So tell us a little bit about how your process is. You're open 1 day a week. Why is that? And what can people expect?
We're open 1 day a week because we need the time to source it. I mean, selling it, and I don't want to, you know, make this sound bad, but selling it's not an issue because of our price point and because of our customer base. It's the sourcing of it that is difficult. So we take the rest of the time to source the inventory.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, let's go and look around at some other pieces. This one is kind of a standout here. All right, you mentioned you source everything. How do you source it, and what are you looking for in this community? Are you looking for more phone calls if somebody has a piece in their garage
Absolutely.
or in their attic or something like that?
So 90% approximately of the inventory that we get is people reaching out. And out of 10 of those calls, maybe one of them has something that fits our mission. Some of it is just not something that fits what we do here and fits my customer base. So I'll give them recommendations of who to reach out to, or if it's something donatable, I'll give them insight into who to reach out to make sure that it gets into a home. Right. So we do primarily vintage, we do some antique stuff, and we do Victorian. I love Victorian. I've collected Victorian my whole life. So, well, yes, and I tell people that all the time. Like, they don't want necessarily a parlor set from 1890 because they're not watching the game on it, but certainly, you know, a piece here or there to complement.
And when you source stuff, so I noticed that this couch actually matches that chair over there.
Yes.
So you can kind of find your whole set here. And then that's something that, do you price them together? How does that work?
Yeah, I try, basically what I do, because this set has been together since probably 1935.
Wow.
We're gonna try to keep it together. Worst case scenario, if it doesn't happen, then it's time. You know, I don't want to keep it here for a year in the hopes that, because someone can enjoy that and someone can enjoy that. Right. And they have two amazing pieces. So
they almost are connected in some way, in some
Yeah,
serendipitous way,
yeah.
that you might end up in one of your neighbor's homes and you'll find a similar piece. So that's something that is unique, I feel like, to Buffalo almost. Like,
yeah, and you know, all of our stuff, unless you're buying it and taking it out of Buffalo, we don't do any shipping. I've never shipped anything. Everything is sourced locally. I don't buy any. I go from Lewiston to Orchard Park. That's it. Okay. So we're literally a pass through from one Western New York home into another. So we don't do any shipping. Everything we sell, unless you take it, that chair's going to Chicago. She bought it and she was honest. She goes,
have to sit in this.
I'm
Yeah.
taking it
This
to
is an
Chicago.
amazing
So
couch.
yeah,
Oh, it's
that is
comfortable
cute.
too.
That is nice. And
I want to ask, and I want to bring up, because I sourced pretty much everything for my house from estate sales around here. A lot of what people bought in between the course of 20 or so years is all pretty similar. And so even if you find a piece here, a piece at a estate sale there, you can find almost a matching set,
Oh,
or it
100%.
looks like a matching
Yes.
set by shopping that way.
And it's you know, it's funny that you mentioned that, Kelsey, because we'll put a mid-century dining table with mid-century chairs that came from completely different places, and it works, you know. And mid-century, the cool thing about mid-century and what's great about it being popular now is it's easier to mix and match that than, say, Victorian, because you can have a Victorian dining table that has a soaring angel on it and then chairs that have a whole different motif. So the mid-century modern is easy to kind
Right.
of complement one another.
definitely. And then this is something that's a mid-century modern, like, enthusiast's dream. This, you got the
Yeah,
round
that's
chairs and
space age.
Yeah.
And, you know, so that is, it's a little rough. It has some wear. The table has some scratches. One chair is missing some chrome. So to give you an idea, this right here is $100 for
wow. If I needed this, I would take it home with me right now.
the whole set. And someone
That's
will
incredible.
need it.
Yeah.
And someone will buy it. And that's what we do.
And how unique is this for $100 for the set? And that's something nice that you do. You know, some wear and tear is on this, some work may need to be done,
Right.
or don't do the work
Use it as
and
is.
use it as is, and it's
Right.
beautiful as
It is beautiful.
And it's only $100.
I can't believe that. Like, we were pointing this
I know.
out when Kelsey and I first came in, and for $100, I'm actually like
It's unbelievable.
shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
It's amazing.
I gotta find a pickup truck and I gotta take it home.
Yeah.
But as we're walking through the store here, you know, you set things up in a way that people can kind of see it in their own home.
Yes.
And so that's, I feel like, a big part of how you kind of make that sale happen.
Yeah, and one of the luxuries that I have here, one of the things I'm cognizant about is the fact that I don't want to jam things in. You know, I'm not a hoarder. I don't hang on to stuff. So again, we're able to display it. Sometimes if it's a week where I get a lot of inventory, sometimes it gets a little tighter in here. but I'm not piling stuff. Everything I have, you'll be able to see.
That's nice.
Yeah.
The Instagram, I do want to talk about that because you post everything on social media and people know about the posts and they buy quick because of that. So explain how that works, when you're posting and when you can buy.
So we do the post either on Thursday or Friday. Again, we're only open Saturdays from 11 to 6. And occasionally when we mess with the hours, maybe we'll change here and there. But right now it's Saturday, 11 to 6. So, for example, today's Friday, I'll be doing a post in a little while, and you can't claim anything. I don't do any pre-sales. I don't do any holds. So you have to come in-person sales Saturday at 11. I don't like inconveniencing people because occasionally there is a line. But the fact of the matter is, again, if you get something from here, you did pretty well.
Yeah, so there is a line. I want to make that noted because I've seen that line before. So there can be that because the pricing is at that sweet spot, as you mentioned earlier.
And a key part of that is, first of all, we've been doing it that way for years, and there's never been any issue, which is a testament to our customer base. I love them. And also, if you miss something, with the frequency with which we get stuff, it'll come around the bend again. You know, it could be 2 weeks and all of a sudden there's your turn, you know?
Right, and that's almost like the joy of thrifting. You know, Kelsey knows, like you find something, you might find something that you kind of, you're like, oh, this would be great in my space for $100, but maybe your apartment's a little bit smaller. So you have to pass on something this size. You could find, like Neil's saying, something like this that's smaller, that fits your space for just a couple weeks. Thrifting, you kind of have to wait for it to find you.
You have to let it speak to you. And that goes with anything. Like, I've talked people out of buying so much stuff here because I could tell they didn't love it. And you have to love it. And it has to be right, you know? And because, again, like you always say, Kelsey, we're in an area where this stuff is out there. We're an old city, and we're a dense, condensed city. So the stuff is there. And wait, don't force anything. Wait, you'll know.
I love that because most salesmen are like, buy.
No.
Neil's like, no, make sure it's right. Let's go to this dining room table because this is beautiful. There's a nice wavy leg on it that I want Dan to show. This is homemade, you said?
Yeah, so this was made by someone. Unfortunately, I don't know who made it, but you can clearly tell it was homemade. And the reason why I love carrying stuff or getting stuff that is homemade or crafted by someone is the fact that I can't do anything. I don't even know what end of a screwdriver is which. And you know, people love an authenticity to the stuff that they're buying. And throughout the years here, I've had homemade desks. I've had homemade coffee tables. I had one 2 weeks ago that sold right away. People love that. And again, it's unique.
Yeah.
It's unique. There might not be
and
any
you can't
more of these,
find,
and there probably isn't.
And also, like, since we're talking about your prices, how much does this cost?
So that's $150.
$150.
Yeah.
For a dining room table?
Made out of real wood.
Oh yeah, this
is $150?
This is that's.
Guys,
again,
this is amazing. I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
I really am.
That's very impressive, Neil. That
you
able
buy
to
a dining room table, it's thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Right. We that's our mission.
And so with those posts, so Kelsey and I are a little sticker shock right now in the best way possible. But with those posts, as Neil was saying and Kelsey was saying on Instagram, you also include the prices. So people can know kind of before they walk into the store, can I afford this?
Nothing to hide. There's no DM me, there's no call me, here's the price.
And that's what's like.
That's awesome too.
Yeah,
I love
and
that.
so with it being online, as Neil was saying, you come in on a Saturday, it's 11 a.m., and you might have a line, but people can almost like, since you're only open one day a week, people can check on this on a Friday before and see, is there anything that I want to wait in line for? And if these pieces speak to you, you can grab them for not that much. Yeah. And then you have just even clothes and stuff. So tell us a little bit about how you source those clothes.
So you mentioned the furniture. So even if there's nothing, I post primarily the furniture. Occasionally I'll do, you know, some lamps or some other stuff that might speak to people. But even if the furniture doesn't speak to you, we have all these other things happening here where currently I have, I think, 6 different vendors in here that sell various things. This, I Our friend Jen just started with us. This is Atomic Vintage, and she carries all this cool, fun 60s stuff.
Those are
Obviously has a
beautiful
touch
pieces.
for decorating, which
Yeah.
we color coordinating. But she just started with us last week, and before she even left, she sold 2 pieces.
Wow.
So
And people who are watching this who enjoy thrifting, you're seeing what I'm seeing. You're seeing vintage Pyrex. So we're in November. You have your Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving. Look at these vintage Pyrex pieces. Like that's
Right,
these
amazing.
people collect those. These are worth a lot of money. And look at, they all are matching in a set. Some people have their certain patterns that they go for. So this is a really, people can buy the dining room table and then
there
all
you
of
go.
those-
on top. Yeah.
That's
and the great thing
awesome.
is some of these are lesser seen pieces.
Right.
So she really, and the great thing about all of the vendors in here is they kind of fall in line or are interested in being part of our mission. So their price point a lot of times will mirror what I'm doing with the furniture. That goes for the clothing, even the local art. The local art, they're able, because I don't take commission from the local artists, they're able to price it here because I'm